Hey there, Coach. Kind of just wanted to get your overall, which is a 3-0 victory. Very comfortable, but I kind of wanted to get your take on like the inside of the game.
You would call that comfortable?
A little bit. I mean, at least in the
Why would you say it's comfortable?
the scoreboard.
Okay, but did you watch the game?
Yeah, I mean that's what I meant. That's why I said comfortable lead. That's
Okay, so the first 30 minutes of the second half, well, I don't know if we ever got out of our half until like 26 or 27 minutes into the second half when we got a corner kick up the field. I mean, 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer, Nico. You know that.
I know that.
I mean, that was a challenging game against a good opponent. And I am blessed. We are blessed with a killer in Raul. I mean, that third goal sunk them. And, you know, it was not an easy game. It was not a comfortable game. At least I didn't feel comfortable.
What did you feel like you got so stagnant in the midfield the first half?
Well, they made adjustments. They made 2 subs, and they made adjustments, and their adjustments worked. I thought we were flat coming out of the second half. We weren't able to keep possession. Now, I complimented the team because they defended well. They defended with their lives. I mean, there was crosses coming in and guys blocking and sliding. You know, they look, there was some desperate defending going on, but the mentality to defend and keep a 2-0 lead was very, very good.
Thank you.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, Coach, obviously, I have to imagine that feels like a good win. You've now beaten LAFC twice in less than 3 weeks. Does this, is a team that you'd struggled with against the regular season, does it feel like you're, especially with the win in the playoffs last year, does this feel like you've kind of turned a page on them being a bit of a bogey team?
If you're talking about, I think their first ever win was against the Seattle Sounders. Correct me if when they came to us, they were kind of a bogey team. I mean, I was talking to Tommy and some of the guys in the coach's office there. You know, it took us a while to overtake the Galaxy, right? That was always our bogey team. And LAFC, we didn't have a great record against LAFC. I think your question is a fair one. I believe that we kind of have figured out a way how to kind of play against them that seems to be working. Jeremiah, for you and all the other coaches out there, what I would say is we actually planned or messaged the team for Bob to actually change how he plays because we've had some recent success against him. And it turns out that he really didn't change the way he played. I mean, maybe he moved a couple of things here and there, but his overall way he wants to play didn't change. And so that was one of the question marks coming into the game that we were trying to prepare for. Does he approach the game differently? Does he concede some possession? Does he drop off? Was Jordan last game, you know, such a threat that he might drop his lines back or whatever? But, you know, that turned out he stayed true to who he was. And, you know, again, we came out with a good result, but it was not an easy contest by any stretch of the game. I mean, Bob had his team ready coming out of halftime, and they took it to us there for you know, until Raul's goal.
Abby Mood from MLSsoccer.com.
Thanks, Matt. So after the 2 tonight, Lodeiro has converted all 14 of the PKs he's taken in his MLS career. What is his secret?
Abby, I don't know. I never asked. Nico just is a guy who has a lot of confidence. They always look. Guys, soccer players like to have fun at training. And a lot of times after training sessions, the guys just like to pick on the goalkeepers or the goalkeepers pick on the shooters or whatever. And they have this little competition. They always take penalties after training sessions. And it's lighthearted. It's fun. They get to go against each other. And they actually get some benefit out of that because it's competitive and they have to figure out what they want to do, how they want to shoot, because Steph Fry and Steph Cleveland and Trey Muse know where Nico's going in training. And so Nico has to sometimes adjust, or Nico tries to do something creative. So I think having a guy who, has a little bit of fun and works on it at training, a guy who is very mentally strong, those pressure moments, they don't seem to phase him. I would go back even to the 2016 final in Toronto. I think two of the best penalty kicks in that sequence were, Nicolas Lodeiro and Jovan Jones. I thought those were tremendous penalties. So he just has it in him.
Masvita, why don't you take the next one?
All right. First one, off the field comment, Coach, because I know you're a climate guy. You got to like the fact that the rain today and kind of helped get all the weather a good deal there. I know you got to like that. You talk a little bit about the effect of the rain on the climate, and then I have a soccer question, obviously.
Well, Maz, why don't you ask your second question, because we're Seattleites. We love the rain. We can just fast forward. Give me your second question. We love the rain. It makes it hard for our opponents. How about that?
Okay. I was thinking more in terms of the Fires, but 9 goals, 1 given up in your last 3 games. And you talked a little bit about the mentality of the team
I
playing
think it's
defense.
10.
10, my bad.
I
Sorry.
think you said 9.
Yes, it's 10.
Okay.
And you talked a little bit about the mentality that you had to have in the first 20 minutes of this game. But obviously, that's been the mentality in giving up 1 goal and scoring 10.
Well, I challenged them today before the game to be careful. Because, look, leading up to the Portland match where we lost 2-1 here, Maz, we had a pretty good run of results, right? We had a good performance against LAFC. We went down to Portland, won there. The result at RSL was pretty good. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves, and we laid an egg against Portland here at home. And so after you beat a team 7-1, how do you get your team motivated to make sure they keep the focus against a way different team than San Jose? And that was a challenge before the game. And I think in the first half, for as good as LAFC played in the second half, I think our team played very well in the first half, deservedly so to be 2 up. And, I think they responded.
Thank you.
Casey Denal from Sounder at Heart.
Hey, Brian. This is the second straight game that Christian Roldan and JP have started together in the midfield. What have you made of that pairing, and has the team's success over the last 2 games made your lineup decisions a little more complicated moving forward?
I don't know what you mean about more complicated moving forward.
Well, with Svensson coming back into the team, does the team's success with those 2 in the midfield make your lineup decisions tricky?
So you're asking me who I'm going to play the next game?
Sure. I assume you won't answer that.
Well, I'm not going to answer that, Casey, but you bring up a good point in a sense that JP had a monster game tonight. I thought he was tremendous. And Christian is comfortable in that position. And Gustav is a quality player. And Christian can play right wing. And JJ can play right wing. And JJ can play left back. And Nuhu had a good game today. And Alex Roldan came on today and did a good job. And Will comes on, and we know what he's like. And we starting to get a little bit more competition for spots. And that's always good because it keeps everybody on their toes and fresh. So when Gustav comes back, he has to understand that the team is in a good run of form. And Gustav is a total team guy. He understands that. He gets it. And so how we move forward certainly will be a storyline for you guys at Sounder at Heart. I'm sure all you guys will write about it. And I'll just say that's TBD.
Sounds good.
Mickey Turner.
Thanks, Coach. Just curious what your messaging has been to the team, given the schedule that you guys have? You're playing a lot of tough teams, and they've come through with flying colors. And just so curious what you just told them about the schedule going forward, given what we're dealing with the MLS schedule.
Mickey, we didn't talk anything about the schedule going forward. I told them that they need to enjoy these moments, enjoy these victories against challenging opponents, and that I agree with you. But we didn't talk about the future. I said, look, you guys played well in the first half. You guys gutted it out in the second half. We've got quality players. We've got a dangerous attack. I mean, I didn't want to focus on anything but what they did tonight, which was keep one of the, one of the more dangerous attacking. Look, I get it. They're missing Carlos. I know they're missing Vela, but that is still a dangerous group. And to keep LAFC off the scoreboard and keep a clean sheet is something that I was very proud of. That their defending was very, very good, top, front to back, and we never looked to the future. I'll save that for Sunday.
All right, guys, probably time for one more. So, Nico Moreno, why don't you close us out?
Thanks, man. Coach, I just kind of wanted to ask you about Javier Reyna and the improvements that he's made over the last few games. He seems to get in that confidence back, and that communication with Yeimar seems to be working back there.
Well, they should be able to communicate. They both speak Spanish.
You know what I mean about communication.
I mean,
chemistry, tendencies, things like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, that is something that we were very pleased to see, that Javier is getting back up on the horse and he's playing well and all that sort of stuff. And so how the team goes, and to Casey's point, how do we, manage the group and all of that sort of stuff. Look, we're going to have a ton of games in a short amount of time. And we are going to rotate the squad as needed, as necessary. And we will continue to use Yeimar and Shane and Javi and maybe even Gustav. And we're going to rotate and we're going to figure it out. And we're going to settle on winning a bunch of games and try and set ourselves up well for when the playoffs come.
But what does that say about Arriaga as a player, that he's able to just kind of get back on that horse, like you said, and not let those mistakes from hunt him?
Well, I mean, you guys can assess his performance tonight. I mean, I thought he played okay.
Yeah. I mean, but as a player, the fact that he doesn't let those mistakes from the past kind of take over, and his, ability to just get that confidence back. I just wanted to get your take on that.
Well, I think that's a sign of a young man who cares about being a part of this team, who wants to do well, that has a amount of personal pride where it hurts if he makes mistakes because, it hurts the team. And he has been a good guy in that locker room. And look, we're all humans. We all make mistakes. And it's how you react to those mistakes, what you do after the fact, that's more important to me than actually the mistake in the first place.